Author and world-renowned meditation teacher Sharon Salzberg shared a story about an experience she had one day, which many of us can relate to. While driving with a friend, Salzberg became agitated when they were stuck in traffic. She received a profound insight when her friend turned to her and said, "You know, we're the traffic too." That story illustrates our connection to others and our ability to recognize that just like me, others experience difficulty, distress, and suffering. The word compassion literally means to suffer together. When we recognize the suffering of others and feel the wish to relieve that suffering, we are experiencing one of the superpowers of our humanity. Our capacity to act with compassion is deeply rooted in our biology. When humans witness the suffering of another, it alerts our brains to react. It releases a chemical reaction that compels us to feel concerned, love, and a desire to help. Without this instinct to care for others, our chances of survival would have been seriously limited. For example, anthropologists have discovered evidence of early humans with serious injuries or disabilities who could only have survived into old age with the help of their group. Today, our ability to act with compassion compels us to react to our baby's cry when she's hungry, reach out to a friend going through a difficult time, or let another driver merge ahead of us when we are in traffic. When we practice compassion, we truly understand that just like me, most people want to be happy, healthy, and out of harm's way. Compassion is a powerful state that can help us connect with others and improve the world. In this video, we'll talk with Father David Garcia to explore the nature of compassion, and we'll reflect on the way compassion in action has a rippling effect.
A few years ago, Pope Francis started what ended up being a full year of mercy in the Catholic Church. And it was just focus on mercy. How do you put mercy into action? And to me, that's very, very close to the whole idea of compassion, because compassion is actually being able to put mercy and how we feel towards others into action. So the concept of compassion I see in the lives and the commitments of the people who are ordinary people, but they do extraordinary things in moments when they are most needed. All the stories that we had during the COVID period, so many of them were stories of compassion, of people who didn't have to do what they were doing, but they did it because they cared about others. I think some people would see compassion as weakness. Why should I show compassion to anybody if they just pull themselves up by their bootstraps? But to understand that in our society, there are a lot of people who have almost no options. Why are the poor poor? They're poor because they have no options. They live where they live because no one wants affordable housing in their neighborhood. And so then they end up being in these islands of poverty. And so here we have something that in a sense we have systematically created and not allowed ourselves to be compassionate by saying, we got to break some of these systems up in order for all of us to be able not only to feel compassion, but compassion helps pull a person up. It doesn't leave them on the ground. The idea is that their humanity is at stake, and I'm trying to pull that up so that they can live, that they can have options in life, they can choose to develop who they are and who God wants them to be. And I can have a role in that by a few things that I can do with an individual and also with my community.
When I was a young priest, I was involved in community organizing. I was in one of the poorest neighborhoods of the city. And over the course of 5 years that I was there at that neighborhood, we were able to get a lot of physical things done in the neighborhood, like drainage and a new park and streets and sidewalks, and worked on the school and all those kinds of things. And so each one of us could do that, but I didn't do it by myself. I kind of sparked some things that other people could organize around. And I believe that when people are given an opportunity, once they understood the issues, once they understood that their voices could be heard if they organized collectively and if they organized unselfishly, meaning this is not just for me, this is for my children, my grandchildren, and for others in the community, that made all the difference in the world. Things changed. So I've seen it happen And that's what gives me hope that it can happen at a larger level.
Compassion is more than an emotional state. At its highest level, compassion is action. It makes us stronger, more resilient, and more connected to others. Studies show compassion improves individuals' health and lives, fuels positive change in societies, and supports the most vulnerable. It is also a sign of strength rather than weakness. In the words of Khalil Gibran, tenderness and kindness are not signs of weakness and despair, but manifestations of strength and resolution. When we practice compassion, we are not just kind to others, we are also being kind to ourselves, which helps us feel stronger, more peaceful, and happier. We hope you enjoyed this video. For more resources and to continue learning, please visit the link on the screen and join the Compassionate USA Skills course.